I'm on the highway to hell. The highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. Hello YouTube, it's Johnny Jetpack here, on my way to work down at Honda, Monday afternoon, starting out my work week. It's cooled off a little bit. The last couple of weeks have been over 100 degrees and now it's a little bit cloudy. So the temperature today I think is going to be a high of about 80 degrees, where it's been, like I said, over 100 for a couple of weeks now in a row. And speaking of hotter than hell, today I'm going to talk to you about driving the highway to hell for 15 years. So what do I mean by driving the highway to hell for 15 years? Well, as you know, I'm the guy with 2 ex-wives. Just watch my video on how to meet your next ex-wife and you'll see what I mean. So let me give you a bit of background on the highway to hell. As I said, I do have 2 ex-wives. My first wife I was married to from approximately 1991 till around, what was it, fall of 96, fall of 97, I don't know, I don't remember, but I had 2 kids with her, and now in 2015 they are 22 and 20, so they're a couple years apart. But back then, when my first ex-wife and I got divorced, they were really little. They were 4 and 2, I believe, at that time. Maybe 5 and 3, I don't know. It was kind of right around their birthdays. So, and when we first split, we kind of lived around the same area, within a couple of miles of each other, so made it easy to go and pick them up and spend time with the kids and have them stay over at my house and take them back to their mom's house the next day, or to school, you know, the regular divorced couple stuff. And that went on for a few years, and then eventually I got remarried and my ex-wife got remarried too, and then pretty soon she starts talking about moving out of the state and wanting to move 2-3 states away, clear down to New Mexico, I think, or southern Arizona, just prohibitively way far away. So of course I battled her, court, everything, back and forth for years, until eventually she bought a house here in Utah, which was kind of a relief. But the bad thing about it was just far enough from me and from my work and where I live to be inconvenient. About an hour of a drive. And that town where she bought the house is called Layton, Utah. And where I lived at the time was in Sandy, Utah. So an hour drive. The drive goes right through downtown Salt Lake, so rush hour traffic whenever I went to pick up the kids, unless I left work early. And so 2-3 times a week, it's 2 hours worth of driving, an hour up and an hour back. And I got so familiar with that road, and I like to call it the highway to hell, because I spent so much time driving back and forth on that highway to see my kids. So another side effect to her living approximately an hour away is that it made it hard for me to go and get the kids, and obviously it was inconvenient, to say the least, to go and pick them up and bring them back to my house, because it was so far. It's like a 2-hour drive every time I wanted to bring them over to my house. So what happened a lot of times is during the week when I'd go up to see them, obviously I wasn't going to drive up and drive back twice, 4 hours driving in one day. So I'd end up hanging around up in Layton at the other end of the highway to hell. So I knew every place to eat, every place to go, everything I could do to take those two kids to have fun in the Layton area. It was kind of became like a second home to me, but you know, since I didn't have a house up there, it was like being on a road trip every time, which, you know, it kind of sounds fun at first, but eventually it just sucks. It gets so, you know, what the hell am I going to do with these two kids this week? How am I going to entertain them? What am I going to feed them? And it got so, it was fairly expensive. Imagine having to take your kids out to eat every single time you saw them. It gets so it adds up pretty quick. But truth be told, the whole thing wasn't horribly bad, because when I went up there, the kids were mine. I fully focused on them. It was all about bonding with them and spending time with them, having a good time. And really we got so we were pretty close. I was pretty close with my two kids, and we'd go and do things every week. We'd go and play at the park. We'd have our dinner outside in the park if it was warm weather, if it was nice. We'd go fishing. We'd do geocaching, which if you don't know what that is, it's using basically a GPS to find to go on like a treasure hunt, and people put these stashes, these geocaches, sometimes in containers, sometimes just out in the open, but you use your GPS to walk and find a treasure, and then you take something out, you put something in, you sign the logbook. It's pretty fun. We did that a lot with the kids. Frisbee golf and going to the golf driving range, hiking. We just did all kinds of things. So over the years, it ended up being pretty good, you know. If you compare traditional family where the dad goes to work, he comes home at night, he's tired, doesn't want to do anything with his kids, and then on the weekend it's like big kids time. If the dad doesn't have anything else going, then he might spend some time with his kids on the weekend, but maybe not. Maybe he's got other things going. Maybe he goes out golfing with his buddies, or does some other kind of recreation and doesn't always spend the time with his kids. Well, in this situation, I was basically forced to spend time with my kids every week, at least once a week, and sometimes 2 times a week, depending on if it was my weekend to have them come over to my house or not. So overall, even though it was a hassle driving up and down the highway to hell every week, it ends up being a good thing in the long run. And now both my kids are grown up. My oldest daughter is married. My son is 20 years old. He's going to college, learning computer programming. In the long run, I guess, you know, they turned out all right. And kids tend to adapt to whatever situation they're in, I guess. And nowadays, I think there are more divorced couples than couples that stay married the entire time. I don't know what the statistics are exactly, but that's what it seems like. So yeah, comment below. I want to hear from you. Tell me how you brought up your kids. How did you spend time with them? Are you divorced? Do you have any kids at all? Did you drive your own highway to hell for 15 years? Let me hear from you. Don't forget to press my buttons. You know how I love my buttons pressed. Press that subscribe button, click the like button, click the share button, and tell me what you think below. Oh, and here's a little bonus. If you read down below in the description, I'm going to put this in the description, but my very favorite social media post that I ever posted myself was a little play on the highway to hell thing. So read below, check it out, tell me what you think. I still think it's pretty damn funny, and it's been a few years since I posted it. Jonny Jetpack, have a good Monday. I'm on the highway to hell.